Back again.
So good to be back.
You know what happened? My energy levels were depleting. I needed a shot of joy. I needed a shot of like passion in life.
That's
So
so
the universe
sweet.
is like, fine, we'll send the Imogen back from
Oh
me.
my gosh, here I am. I'm here to impart the joy.
Oh my god. And well, talking of fuel was the perfect excuse.
Thank you so much.
Talk about it in a second because you just released like such a great album. So good.
You.
So good.
Thank you.
But like, I mean, when you first came here, you had just moved to America.
Yes.
Was this what, a year ago?
Yeah, just over a year ago, I guess. Yeah.
I feel like you have adapted so well. And
Thank you. I think I feel like maybe the reason for that is that I always wanted to live here and it was a dream for so long, and I feel like I really belong here. So it's been such an incredible journey so far.
I mean, you were just telling me like, oh, my hairdresser's here, my this is good. It's like, excuse me, Miss Nasty.
I think yes.
Do you want to ride like a Lonely Planet? What's like?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, this is, I feel like I've very quickly become the person that a lot of Aussies reach out to when they come to town for the first time, and they'll be like, where do I do this? What do I do about this? And I'm like, there's some people who've been here much longer than me, so I feel very privileged to be the person they're asking.
And you just came back from like a super intense like radio tour as well,
Yes.
that took you all over, little towns, small towns, medium towns.
Yeah.
How was that? And what I mean, Imogen, is obviously you were playing and meeting folks, but you learn a lot about America with those trips, right?
Absolutely. And so it was so lovely because I also got to see Ohio for the first time. I got to, I stopped in more spots in Kentucky I'd only sort of driven through. So seeing new states, and I even have a list in my phone of all 50 states, and I'm trying to tick them off gradually. And also saw Indiana for the first time, which was beautiful. So honestly, I'm learning so much about the way small town America works, especially within the radio space, but also, just learning that there are so many, it sounds like a silly thing to say, but there are just so many people in this country. And because of the high population, it means that there's such a wonderful opportunity for artists who make maybe niche music or who, artists like me who kind of are Americana artists. There is a space for us in small town America. And in, like I went to Akron, Ohio for the first time. And
Let's be so from.
yeah, oh, I did not realize that. That's really cool. And, I'd never been to Ohio before. I'd never been to Akron before, and showed up and played this beautiful little show inside a studio at the Summit FM. And the room was full of these folks who've been listening to my songs on the radio there, who I've never met, who I've never been to the town. I'm just learning that there's such an opportunity to get your music heard here, even if you don't make top 40 pop music. And that's so cool.
Sure. Yeah. And let me ask you this, because you're like a world traveler. I mean, we were talking off camera. You've been to Japan since when you were 18. You're from Australia. You come to the US. I feel like you really have a sense of like the world of people, right? Like almost like music aside,
Yeah.
but like as a human,
Thank
you act
you.
like you really kind of like understand
Yeah.
that world kind of like the same, right?
That's
Don't you?
That's a really good point, and thank you for saying that. And I do feel like that because I think part of being an artist and being a songwriter is kind of like wanting to be worldly wise and wanting to learn about how people operate and the human condition. And what better way to do that than seeing people and meeting people in all kinds of different cultures and traveling to other towns and learning about the differences. But you're right that there are more similarities than there are differences from what I've seen.
Totally. And I think that's one of the reasons why everybody loves you here in town, and because you're so like worldly.
Thank
You
you.
don't bump into what makes us different, but like what makes us kind of like the same.
Thank you. That's really sweet. I appreciate that, and I think that's a really good, that's a good way to be. And I hope that I am that person. I want to, learn more and more about people by meeting as many of them as I can.
Yeah. I mean, when I was listening to Choking on Fuel and doing research and all that, that's one of the things that I was kind of thinking. I was like, man, Imogen, maybe she was like sent to Nashville not just for the arts, like to remind us these things.
That is so sweet.
It's so divided and stuff. So it helps anyway.
That's so sweet. Thank you for saying that. And I feel like it is really important to me because I feel like coming from Australia, obviously, yes, there are a lot of cultural differences, but what humans really are kind of at their core the same wherever you go, and there are more similarities than there are differences. And so it is and music unites everybody. Like music is the language that really sort of everybody speaks. So
Speaking of a language that everybody speaks, I mean, everybody speaks Mickey Raphael. Everybody speaks Jim Lauderdale. Everybody speaks Tommy Emmanuel. These are like universal languages that have, adapted you, like that love you, that and are part of your project of Choking on Fuel.
Yeah.
I mean, you're almost tearing up. And it's like it's your project.
Honestly,
And it sounds crazy, but it's awesome, right?
Yes, thank you. It is it does make me emotional actually, because I'm just so grateful because I'm just like a girl from Western Sydney where like not a lot happens, and now I look at where my life is now and living in Nashville where I always wanted to live, and working with people like Mickey Raphael, who's played harmonica with Bob Dylan and Willie Nelson, and Jim Lauderdale, one of the most respected songwriters in Nashville, and Tommy Emmanuel, arguably the best guitar player in the world. And I'm just thinking, how did I end up here? And like the answer is from lots of hard work and lots of blind faith and lots of, just never giving up. And that does make me really emotional because I'm just so grateful that I get to be doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's great. I mean, the connection you've had with Jim, who's a friend of the show, it's almost like you guys could do like a movie together, like a reality show. Like
I would.
a body call.
I would die. That would make me so happy.
It's like two people who you would never have thought have so much chemistry.
I love Jim Lauderdale so much. That man is like, we've done multiple tours together. Not only, I've been his opening act on tour, but I've also been a member of his band on tour. And I just can't, he's so much fun and he's so funny and his jokes are so terrible. And we just have a great time. And I just getting to collaborate with him is amazing. We've written several songs together and I hope we continue to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And imagine when you're in the studio with someone like Tommy Emmanuel or Mickey, whatever, or people like that. Is it like who takes the lead? Because and what I mean is this, like, I'm not an artist, but even if it's my project and I'm with someone like Tommy Emmanuel, I feel like I would be like, take the lead, take the ball.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it is intimidating in some ways because I admire these people, and it's really important to me that they not only appreciate my music, but are happy that they said yes to playing on it. And also, I hope that they also like me as a person. So it's kind of one of those things where you're like, just do whatever you want, I guess. But honestly, most of the time, these people who are so professional and who have made it to this point in their career have done so because they are so professional. They are so, they understand that if they've been asked to play on an artist's song, like they've probably been asked because they have something really great to offer, but also they tend to be very deferential to the artist and ask what I want. And I'll always sort of say, well, I've asked you because I want your flavor. So, we'll workshop it together and we'll collaborate. But it's certainly nerve-wracking, but it's a collaborative activity.
Yeah. And imagine when you're, with artists like this, or I mean, throughout your career, you've worked with great artists, but is there a point where you feel like you've leveled up? Like as an artist, are you like, man, I'm leveling up here? Is that like a tangible feeling?
Definitely. And that is definitely something I felt most prominently with having Tommy on the record. I mean, Tommy, it's also extra special because he is another Australian that moved here a long time ago and has really made an incredible name for himself in the industry. And I think, that's a real, even though what we do is different artistically, that's a real blueprint for me. Sure. He's such a hero to me. And I think him saying yes to this, which he did, having never met me, just on the strength of the song, wow, that was a real moment of like, I feel like this is new territory for me, and I'm so proud, that this is happening.
You also did a great cover of Sheryl Crow,
Yes.
Makes It Happy, but you reimagined it really beautifully. But why did you pick that song?
Well, it's funny. So I love Sheryl Crow, of course, huge influence on me. But I've also come to be good friends with Jeff Trott, who wrote that song with Sheryl and who produced and played guitar on many of Cheryl's songs. And Jeff lives here in Nashville, and we've become good friends. And so I've seen him play a few writers' rounds where he's played his version of the song, and he always talks about it being it originated as quite a ballad on the piano. And so because he spoke about it like that, it made me hear the song in a different way. And so I wanted to pay tribute to the way that he first heard the song. And then it so it starts off like that in a sort of soft, gentle ballad, and it ends up like the Sheryl Crow version at the end. So it's kind of got both aspects in there. So that was the reason behind choosing that song, as well as the fact that I just love the song. And then I asked my friend Kezia Gill, who is a UK fantastic.
Touring with her.
Yes. Kezia is a great friend and tour buddy of mine, and she sings a beautiful duet on that song.
Yeah, she's really cool. UK folks, definitely go check you guys out.
Yes.
Imogen, we've talked about the positives of you here in America and the way you've kind of like connected so well, but it's not all roses, right? Like some friends of our show, I think kind of just like packed up and leave. We hope they come back to Shepherd.
Yes.
You know, like, because it's not all black and white.
Oh, absolutely.
What are some of the challenges, Imogen, of you being here?
Look, the number one challenge for me is missing home, missing people in my life in Australia. You know, it's no longer a scenario where I can get in the car and drive for 45 minutes and go see my mum when I feel like I need my mum. You know, and FaceTime is wonderful, and I'm glad to be living in the modern age for things like that, but it's not the same as having a hug with your mum when you really feel down, and I'm so close with her, so that makes it hard. And you know, I have a partner back in Australia who visits here, and I
to maintain it for a while.
Yes, we have.
That been challenging?
It's been very challenging, and you know, it only works because we love each other so much, and because we at our core are such great friends as well as partners. And I think, you know, but it's certainly not easy. That's been the biggest challenge for me, is just the people I left behind. And I know you sacrifice so much for your dreams, and that is a tale as old as time, you know, but it has been very challenging in those ways.
Sure. Well,
Yeah.
you know, the universe will conspire to give you a good balance. It already is, but yeah, nothing in life is so black and white, for sure.
True.
I'm so stoked that you're gonna play a song for us in a minute, Imogen. But let me leave you with this. How has your definition of success changed from when you last came a year ago? You know,
That's a great question.
I mean, you've always been very profound and a very zen-like spirit, but more so now. Like, you're giving me like a beautiful piece. It's like, man, I should have had some incense here or something.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Well, thank you for saying that. That's a really cool observation, and I think I've grown up. I've grown up a lot in the last year, you know, moving to another country and learning the ins and outs of a completely new world has definitely made me feel like I've grown up a lot. But I also feel like it's given me a sense of confidence, a grown confidence that I maybe didn't have as much of this time last year. And, you know, I think also I just feel like I'm becoming a better artist. You know, the more of the world I see, the more songs I write, the more people I meet, and the more I feel people here believe in me, and the audience that I'm growing here, it's all culminating in a feeling of growth for me. So I just feel very grateful for it all.
Like,
Yeah.
you're stepping into, there's no imposter syndrome, none of that. It's like,
Yeah.
you're a badass. Obviously, I know that,
Thank you.
you know. But yeah, I don't blame you if like a year ago or something, when you moved to Nashville, you were like, oh my God. Like,
It was a big unknown. Yeah, it was a big unknown. And now it's more of a known entity. Even though I'm still early in my life here, I'm very much figuring it out more, and, you know, putting roots down here.
you're good. Amazing. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, if you want to play a song for us, of course, we'd be selfishly very happy.
Oh, I would love. I'm Imogen Clark, and this is my song, If I Want In. There's a railway hotel in every town around here. If you stick around long enough, they'll make you disappear. There's ice in the summer, there's fights in the bars. And out west of the city, you never see stars. Everyone I know is either married or in rehab. I couldn't say which one is worse. I've got too much supply and never enough demand. I can't live it in reverse. If I want in, I gotta get out. If I want in, I gotta get out of this. If I want in, I gotta get out of this town. I'm going after this fever dream. You gotta leave to be the homecoming queen. But I've left pieces of myself inside every single dive bar here in Western Sydney. So I took pieces of her with me. Everyone I know is either married or in rehab. I couldn't say which one is worse. I got too much supply and never enough demand. I can't live it in reverse. If I want in, I gotta get out. If I want in, I gotta get out of this. If I want in, I gotta get out of this town. I had to learn who I wasn't to find who I am. The streets of Wednesday screaming, get out while you can. Don't wanna be a mother and wife to a man who I've known since I was 10. And he's telling all our friends, you should hear her when she sings her little songs on the weekends. Everyone I know is either married or in rehab. I couldn't say which one is worse. I got too much supply and never enough demand. I can't live it in reverse. If I want in, I gotta get out. If I want in, I gotta get out of this. If I want in, I gotta get out of this town. Oh, if I want in, if I want in, I gotta get out. If I want in, I gotta get out of this. If I want in, I gotta get out of this town. Oh, see you around. Oh, 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 oh. If I want in, I gotta get out of this town. I gotta get out of this.
Thank you for tuning in. Click here to subscribe and get the latest from the show, including exclusive behind-the-scenes footage and once-in-a-lifetime performances. And as always, thank you for making J-Rock Concerts Media part of your day.